Hello friends, I'm back with the third video. This video is a very interesting video on uh, artificial meat or lab grown meat. Um, it's not a big topic, it's a small topic, but I'll bring it different perspective of this lab grown meat. So let us go into why it is in the news, right? Though the first time 2013 it came into the current news about that lab grown meat or artificial meat is another emerging technology of the future. So let us go and discuss into those various facets of lab grown meat. It can be an important question for coming exam. So I'll be discussing those areas. So I will be now focusing on those areas. But let us first discuss about the development in this field of artificial meat. So this is an article which I found online. The artificial meat factory, the science of your synthetic supper. That is what given. So let us now focus on this person there. What you can see here. He is Dr. Mark Post. He is a Dutch scientist who created $300,000 burger. What you can see in his hand there, and he is the person behind this unique concept of lab grown or lab cultured meat part of it. And he hopes that in future when the manufacturing will be scaled up, see it may come to the price of $10 each. So you can see the difference now. For making only one single burger, this lab grown meat cost $300,000. So today it is not feasible, but there are many companies have come up, many startup companies have come up in this field, which are trying to develop this technology and scale up, so that one day in our hands such kind of lab grown meat is available. So the different aspect of this technology, we'll be covering that part. So the person behind it, the innovator, is Dr. Mark Post. He made a headline in 2013 when he produced that lab grown meat and then came out with the burger. Now, in way back in 2016, January 2016, a company called Memphis Meats produced a cultured meatball for around $1,000. So the price what Dr. Mark has to pay, invest $300,000, that in the 3 years time frame came to $1,000 by the company called Memphis Meats. That's another thing. And another name which has figured out prominently in this area is called Mosa Meat. Another company. They both have sprung up from the lab of Dr. Mark Post only. So if you see here, cultured meat. Now let's understand its concept. See, lab grown meat comes in many other names. Now, first of all, the names have been given. So it is also called in vitro meat, synthetic meat, and basically they're grown through muscle cells in a nutrient serum or into muscle like fibers. So you can say this boneless kind of culture. So they use animal product like milk, artificial milk, or hen free egg white. So that can be created through genetically modified or genetically engineered yeast cell for such protein found in milk or egg. So not from the natural milk or egg, but can be genetically engineered through yeast cell and can be extracted. So in fact, there's another name which has come up for this particular technology is called cellular agriculture. So scientists all throughout US and they're trying to do that. So very fanciful. What I found in this article is that since it will be without killing animals, so even one day one can dream of having panda burger or let's maybe pangolin burger. So that is another fascinating ideas have been coming up that such kind of lab grown meat can have healthier fats, vitamins, right? It can even, who knows, in one day it can contain vaccine. Now I am taking this topic in the case of coronavirus. You all know that it is a zoonotic disease. It came from animal to humans. What China and Chinese authorities saying that Wuhan province and their seafood market, from there it came to the human and then spread from human to human. So, but if you go back there, MERS virus, it was from camel. So, SARS virus, if you take Ebola, then bat. So, the number of viruses for which the multiple hosts are there, whether swine flu, bird flu, Ebola, it can be mammals, it can be avians or birds, right? So there are multiple hosts are there. So let's say when human consume animal, so there is always a risk that those animals may carry the virus, and that virus may come to human, and then from human it can spread to other humans. So lab cultured meat or cellular agriculture in vitro meat can solve this problem in future, because we are artificially growing meat in the lab condition, which will test similar to the natural meat got from the animals. So there will not be any risk of the virus, which is basically present in those animals as a host. So this can be another dimension which you can be thought. So now the lot of things are been going on. So the two companies are there. One is Memphis Meats, and second is Moza Meats. So they are saying that by 2020, like this year, they'll bring that, and they're aiming to bring to the price to $10 for one burger. So maybe by 2025 it may come to the commercial domain. So the idea behind it, so I'll just come to one aspect of that. Now this one, how good is a lab grown burger? This question has come. So the taste and texture is now not exactly as the real meat, but it comes very close to 60 to 70% close by. But the supporters of this particular technology, they have been advising that livestock farming, which uh, generate methane gas, which is a greenhouse gas. At the same time, it requires land. Land use requirement is very high to rear the farm animals for food. At the same time, the animals also require water. So it says that this particular technology will going to revolutionize in terms of less consumption of land than water, and also from the greenhouse gas, methane gas, which is leading to global warming and climate change. Uh, so that can be again taken care with respect to the artificial meat, where the livestock farming can be reduced. So there's another part is coming there, but you should also remember that if you're going to bring a new technology, a very emerging technology, let's say in future by 2030, the price become affordable, and we all have this technology in the market, and pizza, burger, patties, everything contain this kind of meat. We should also understand what impact will be on animal husbandry, particularly on those farmers or those people who are involved with poultry farming or livestock farming. Their livelihood, that should not be jeopardized because of the new technology which comes up. So the people will not eat those real animals or the birds. They prefer to go for this lab grown meat. So there can be a social economic impact of the technology as well. So you can see that there are a lot of perspectives are there. So what I'll do here, I will now take you to a video. Watch this video. It will provide you a lot of insight into this particular technology. Then I'll come back to it, and then I'll write points on my iPad for your understanding and different perspective part of it. So I'll, both the core concept and the application and different perspective, we'll discuss that. So let's go to the videos.
What we're going to try today are the first thin slices of steaks we have produced in a lab setting.
I think this is going to be the greatest revolution in the history of modern agriculture.
This lab-grown meat is not just a plant-based alternative like the Impossible Burger.
There's a technology that exists that allows us to, for all intents and purposes, have our bacon and eat it too, without any pigs being harmed.
Cultured meat, lab-grown meat, clean meat, whatever you want to call it, is identical to conventional meat at the cellular level, just grown in a lab. no slaughter involved. Its arrival could have massive implications for meat eaters, the U.S.'s $200 billion meat industry, and the environment. And it's happening at a pivotal time.
We can't handle more agriculture, and this growing demand is asking precisely that, and we're going to reach a breaking point.
We're in San Francisco on our way to Just. The startup invited us to try its lab-grown chicken nuggets for the first time.
Just started out by making vegan alternatives to animal products, like mayo and scrambled eggs. But now they're entering a new market. They're producing actual meat grown from animal cells in a lab.
All right, Chef Chris, we're gonna cook up some cells.
I like to call it chicken.
Well, we'll see if it tastes like chicken.
This is our chicken bite. Got some breading on it right now.
Bam.
All right.
It's kind of fluffy on the inside, kind of airy on the inside.
Lab-grown meats start with a small cluster of cells that, like an embryo in a womb, needs proteins and nutrients in order to grow. The process generally begins with taking a tissue sample from a living animal. From that tissue sample, stem cells are isolated. From there, a nutrient-dense serum encourages the stem cells to multiply. Once a mass of cells is formed, it's fed with proteins that prompt the cells to differentiate into muscle and fat cells. After some time in a cultivator, a mass of cells resembling raw minced meat can be harvested and prepared.
All right, Chef Chris,
The moment of truth.
let's do this. Here she is. Tastes like a chicken nugget. You did a great job as a chef with the exterior, but the interior is nice and soft. It's kind of spongy.
You like the chicken?
It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to say, it tasted like a chicken nugget.
Good. We'd rather people just say that than anything else. Almost be surprised that it's so normal.
How long will it take before it's on someone's plate at a fancy restaurant
Yep.
or at home?
The chicken's going to be happening hopefully before the end of the year. So we're talking
Before
about
the end of the year, we
Yeah.
only have a few weeks left.
I know.
Where?
So we're talking to a handful of countries right now. The key limiting step is the regulatory.
The regulatory.
Regulatory environments didn't contemplate the idea that you would be able to serve meat without killing an animal.
Last month, the FDA and the USDA agreed to share regulatory oversight of lab-grown meat products in the U.S.
So we just inked an agreement with a company in Japan, and they make this very, very high-end product called Wagyu, where we're sourcing cells from these phenomenal cows, and then using the cells as the building blocks to make a hamburger that we're hoping to put out in the next year, year and a half.
What's the biggest technological hurdle you have yet to overcome?
Well, it's probably the structure. You know, we didn't give you a chicken breast, we gave you a chicken nugget, you know, and we're not going to come out with a steak, we're going to come out with a hamburger. So it's a structured stuff. It's trying to figure out a way to weave together the muscle and the fat so it looks like a steak would look.
Just says it may be more than a year away from having its burger. But we learned that a startup in Tel Aviv, Israel, may have found the holy grail of cultured meat production, a steak.
The world's already seen hamburger meat, but this is different.
Yeah, that's different. Those are pieces of steak. We believe that for cell-cultured meat to be a real option in the market, it has to reproduce the texture and the experience of the conventional meat.
Olive Farm's steak starts its life in this nitrogen tank. That's where the frozen animal cells are kept.
You gonna take us to the slaughterhouse now?
We don't have slaughterhouses, but we have cows. This cow is named Gertrude.
This is a cow named Gertrude, okay?
Yeah, and that's the second cow named Alberta. So this is Gertrude. What you can see in there are cells, which are actually real cow cells, which we have isolated from a real animal.
Is the cow still alive?
And we don't hurt the cow.
The conditions inside these refrigerator cows are meant to replicate the bodies of living cows, where cells naturally multiply.
So this is actually probably one of the, or maybe the first piece of beef tissue.
After roughly 3 to 5 weeks in Gertrude, these small beef pieces will grow into a thin slice of steak, roughly the size of a credit card. Most cattle are slaughtered after 2.5 years.
What we're going to try today are the first thin slices of steaks. Each meat cut you will test today costs approximately $50 a piece. The taste and flavor are still, I believe, 60-70% on the way toward our goal.
You've gotten the texture pretty close.
Yes, not bad at all, and you can judge by yourself.
The company didn't want to show us a raw piece of steak. Instead, Olive Foods invited us to be the first journalists to try its steak at a test kitchen in Tel Aviv. When we arrived, Amir Ilan had already marinated the lab-grown beef.
Okay. And here it is.
Yeah, sauteed beef with mushrooms in teriyaki demi-glace and some microgreens with truffle soy vinaigrette.
This looks beautiful. Thank you, chef.
My pleasure.
Well, let's give it a go. It's pretty good, yeah, I have to say. It tastes pretty close to a regular steak. I'm not willing to say this is the best steak I've ever had in my life. Pretty good though, but it passes.
Olive Farm says it will take at least 2 years before its product is commercially available. Back in the States, a political food fight is already underway. Jan Dutkevich is a political scientist at Johns Hopkins University. He researches industrial agriculture.
Demand for meat is rising globally, but it's also completely unsustainable. We're running out of arable land on the planet. We've got a really serious climate change problem.
An Oxford University study estimates that lab-grown meat could be produced with up to 96% fewer greenhouse gas emissions and 96% less water than conventional meat.
If cellular agriculture delivers on its promise, which we don't know if it's going to do yet, but if the technology gets there, then I think we may be heading for something resembling the age of animal obsolescence.
Tell that to the rancher out in Montana. Do you think that the meat producers are going to take this risk to their industry, their livelihoods, lying down?
Producers are already up in arms.
Are ranchers like yourself talking about this new cell-cultured meat?
As I like to call it, fake meat. As president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, 100% of the places I go, that's what producers want me to talk about.
There's a law that was passed in Missouri, and that law stipulates that in order to call something meat, it has to come from an actual animal.
Right.
Do you support that law?
I do. There'll be other states that I've been told about that will also make the same attempts to clarify what defines meat. We want to make sure that we have a level playing field on marketing and safety inspection.
Is your side trying to have it both ways? You want them to be regulated the same way as your meat, but you don't want them to be allowed to be called meat?
Well, we don't know what their products are yet. We're not where these companies are even willing to share what they're doing yet publicly.
Is this going to change the world?
People love meat. People eat meat almost more than anything else on the planet. If we and other companies continue to put our head down and develop sensible technology, the world will change.
Okay guys, you have watched this video, so it has given you a fair idea about the technology. So now what we come across, let us now go to the certain important points which can be important from the examination point of view. So our topic 3 is lab grown meat. Or artificial meat. Okay, so now let's understand here. So, what you have read from the document, what I discussed orally, what you have watched in the video, the documentary, so I'll put it across here. The first point, number one, it is also called cellular agriculture. So, please remember this word. If lab grown meat or artificial meat, all this word is not asked in the examination, and the cellular agriculture comes into that. It refers to this artificial meat, or it is also called in vitro meat. Right? Now, so the person who brought this concept, that's what I'll go back to the
What?
part of the person there. That is Dr. Mark Post, the scientist. So he created in $300,000 burger of lab cultured meat. So Dr. Mark Post, he's a pioneer. Lab cultured meat, burger for 300,000 in 2013. Now, what is the third fact? Two startups, two important startups, but there are others also there in USA and Europe, which are looking for viable market. Memphis Meats and Moza Meats. Are developing cost effective lab cultured meat. So they are aiming for bringing the price to $10 per burger. That's they want in that part. Now the fourth point here. So the positives. What are the positives and the benefits out there of this technology? The first part of the positive is that is a cruelty-free technology. It doesn't require live animals, so no need to slaughter. Animals for food. Now the second positive side is that from environment conservation point of view, because you know that many of threatened species they're going to be brink of extinction because of various threats, and one of the threats can be hunted for food. So conservation of those species which are killed, or we can use the word poached for meat. You know that China, after learning lesson from coronavirus, has decided to ban all those kind of international trade on the sample specimens of animals. So poached for meat, right? Like for example, one animal which makes news, that is the pangolin. Let's say take for example of Chinese pangolin or Indian pangolins. Now, third positive aspect of this technology is that, which I have mentioned, that from again environment point of view, it will reduce greenhouse gases, greenhouse gas, particularly methane, responsible for global warming, from farm animals. Because there is huge demand of beef and the animal product, and it is going to increase to 70% by the year 2050. So that can be one part, as well as same point I'm giving here, as well as it will also reduce, it will reduce land use and water consumption. Relating to livestock farming. So it is going to be a huge benefit. So I can put up in the point number fourth. Now, fifth point is that what I said, that disease outbreak. Prevent disease outbreak, like infectious viruses, which are present in animal hosts. So, like coronavirus being one example. Earlier, Ebola, then swine flu. It came from swine, and swine refers to pig, and there's a big demand in the international market of the pork. So again, that can be part. So you can see that these all are advantage of having lab grown meat. Now, if you take the negative aspect of that, the fifth point, so what are negatives of this technology? So the first negative is that it will have impact on ranching, animal rearing, animal husbandry, and livestock farming, occupation, which may cause loss of livelihood of communities which depend on such activities. Now, lab grown meat will create a parallel kind of market. So you can also say that it is not only that the processed meat processing industry, it also have impact on meat processing industry, which makes different type of meat products. So there will be that impact also. So in a nutshell, we can say there will be socio-economic impact on the society. Now, one of the positive thing can be that lab grown meat will be sterilized kind of food, will be free from any kind of pathogen or disease, can be healthy with the vitamins, minerals. But what is the problem there? The companies which will be involved in making those kind of products, the method they will use to make those kind of products, what if they don't maintain the safety? So already there is a lot of protest by communities and the people against GM variety, because GM varieties have not been trusted so far. So what about the such lab cultured meat? So protests of people against lab grown meat on the health ground, on the environment ground, similar to GM food, right? So these are the negative side. So it requires regulation. What it requires, that you have to safeguard the socio-economic aspect, the industry. At the same time, you have to look from the growth of a new technology, an innovative technology, and the future prospect. So there will be need of regulations in future to control lab grown or cultured meat Now this is I have given you the background, every aspect of that. Alright. So what I'll now do here is that I will now come to how it is made, the methodology. What is the method to create it? Because when the question will be asked, it also covers the method. So how it is made? Method to grow in vitro meat or lab grown meat. It's very simple, you have seen in the video also. So let's say whichever animal you want to create the meat. So from the live animal, not the dead, the live animal, animal tissues will be extracted. So you don't have to kill the animal. That's another beauty of this technology. Now from this one, stem cells. Removed and grown in petri dishes in nutrient medium. So the stem cell. Now what is the advantage of stem cell? So you know that stem cells can divide and differentiate into muscle cell. So that nutrient medium where it will be grown, so it will, stem cells will produce muscle fibers. which are grown on a scaffold like sponge. In the nutritive media. So it takes time, it doesn't will be there, and you require a bioreactor media. So that is a it's done in a bioreactor. You have to culture in a bioreactor. The similar to bioreactor which is used for making insulin, the hormone, or antibiotics like penicillin or any kind of antibiotics is from there. So that will be grown. You have seen in the animation and the video part of it. And this the meat is grown. And used to make various products. So you can use not only bovine like cows and buffaloes, but also you can use the poultry bird also like chicken and all this. So make various meat products, whether burger or pizza or hamburger, whatever one wants to develop there. So this is the science behind it, the technology behind it, right? So animal, live animal, whichever animal you take, animal tissue extracted, stem cells are removed and grown in petri dish in nutrient medium. The stem cells will produce muscle fibers which are grown on a scaffold like a sponge, like it can be like a sponge in the nutritive media or medium. I've used the plural word here, in a bioreactor, and the meat is grown and used to make various meat products, right? So that's what this technology comes into that. So it is a very important technology, and maybe possible a question can be asked. But again, remember that when question will be asked, it will be a simple question. It will not be a difficult question. All right. So now the reference to the book, to where I have given in the textbook. So I have given this in my book in a number of areas. So first one is that I have given about this concept of bioreactor. Right, that is in I have given in the chapter number 7, that is in biotechnology. And here you have a page number 33. Right. Now coming to this in vitro meat or lab grown meat. This I have given chapter number 9 on agriculture. There's a I have given a chapter on agriculture. So there I have mentioned about that, and that is in the page number, that is 19. Then I have also given information about this very important part. I'll write here. That is a agriculture, emerging technology in agriculture. I give you the list of that emerging technology, and first one is agriculture, about vertical farming and in vitro meat. In the chapter of that's 15, which is on new and emerging technology. So I have a chapter in the book where I have given on the new and emerging technologies, and that is where you have the first in agriculture mention about in vitro meat. That is your page number 47. So this book is very useful book. My first edition of the book was accepted by the student, and a lot of questions came in the previous 8-year exams, then even the 9-year exam. Last year augmented reality, then about digital signature, VoLTE, voice over LTE, right, Aadhaar, UPI. You'll find every aspect given in respective chapters of the book. So this book is the one of the thing where continuously in the UPSC exam both in the pre and the mains exam. Even the main exam question about 3D printing are at the same time the eminent Indians, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, and all are given in the book. So this book is a complete book on mains and the pre-exam, and that's what the second edition, which is there already in the market, and I'm very sure that I have given so much topics, and those topics which are gray areas, which are generally I have not found in popular website, popular current affairs materials, right? And these are the area where UPSC can catch you in the prelims exam, and these all are given in my textbook. So please make sure to go through the topics and read from there, right? So now I'm coming to the MCQ part. Let's go to the MCQs, right? So how the UPSC can ask question, like let's say first question number 1. Consider following statements about in vitro meat. Let's say statement number 1. In vitro meat does not require killing of animals. Number 2. In vitro meat can be augmented with healthy fats, vitamins and minerals. Startup companies in developing in vitro meats are located in USA and Europe only. So let's say you have the option, which of above statements are incorrect, or sometimes given not correct. So let's say incorrect. I'm giving you option A, 1 only, B, 3 only, C, 1, 2 and 3, and D, none. So what will be answer here? So let's say first statement, in vitro meat does not require killing of animals. That's correct. In vitro meat can be augmented with healthy fats, vitamins, minerals. That's also correct. And startup companies which is investing in developing this technology, in developing in vitro meats, are located in US and Europe only. That's wrong. So why I gave this question, that to make you aware that even Indian government has taken initiative, particularly from Department of Biotechnology, and it was also in the Hindu paper, in the newspaper, about developing in vitro meat in India also there. So the wrong statement is third. So wrong one is this one, 3 only. So now let me take you to that developing in Indian perspective of that. So that is where I have part of it here. See there. I'll take you to from the Indian aspect of that. Now see. Affordable lab grown meat, India looks to become global cell based meat hub. Right? So this came in Mint Live. This is a journal, Mint Live. There it was covered by, and on 10th May 2019, this article came. Now let's look at the world's first research center focused on R&D in the cell-based meat category has been announced in Maharashtra, India, with the first phase set to open by 2020. So might be possible. This can be in the mind of the question setter, and the question can be asked. So it is dubbed as the Center of Excellence in Cellular Agriculture. The facility is the collaborative effort by the Good Food Institute (GFI) India and the Institute of Chemical Technology Mumbai. So Good Food Institute and Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai, they are coming together to develop this Center of Excellence in Cellular Agriculture. So that's a thing you have to know, because it's not only the science and technology from global perspective, you must also know from national perspective. So now if you see, the center was established in partnership and encouragement of the government of Maharashtra and state. So state government has been supportive to this technology there. So major research areas will include that are known to be challenges to be scale up of the sector or relevant opportunities, such as efficient bioprocess to utilize and design bioreactors for more productive scale up. The main problem is the cost, and that can only happen if we have a bioreactor where we can allow the cells to divide and the muscle fibers to grow and develop this kind of a meat in the lab. That also only requires a scale up part, and for that requires the technology and the investment. So another major focus will be creating a talent pool from allied sectors including mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, biopharma, biotechnology. So it will also create jobs in India where people and experts from those areas may come together to develop this sector in India, and India can become one of the global hub in the field of this technology of in vitro meat. That kind. So, Good Food Institute is an international non-profit organization. So, the cell-based meat through research, they do that, and they are non-profit organization. The first campus will be in Mumbai. The second will be open in Jalna campus in by 2021. So this year Mumbai, the Center of Excellence in Cellular Agriculture, and second center will be Jalna again in Maharashtra by 2021. So that's what I've explained, the concept part of it. So that's where you have the first dedicated center for that. So the MD of that Good Food Institute is Varun Deshpande. So he came in media, and it came in the Hindu paper also. But again, remember that sometimes the story keeps on running. That's what I've said in the my live session also, that lab grown meat or artificial meat is there for the last 10 years. I've said the first time in 2013 it came into the application part. So it is already there for a long time, but now it is slowly going to become reality. So India is also getting prepared for it. So it can also, like, in from the vegetarian part. So 100% cruelty free lab grown meat to hit India by 2025. So that's what comes into that. And in this context, Economic Times has reported from the animal rights and the welfare organization, because since you don't have to kill the animals, so Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. So one big international organization, PETA, they have been supportive of this particular technology. So the human nature of the treatment of animals, that has come into that, and this animal activists and animal welfare organizations, they have joined together in force with the DBT, Department of Biotechnology. There is a center, very important center in Hyderabad, that is called Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, CMB, to develop this lab grown meat in India. So now you can say that a government lab, CCMB in Hyderabad, supported by from funds of Department of Biotechnology under Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, and they are getting supported. This lab will be supported through well-known animal rights and welfare organizations. That's another dimension of this entire aspect of the technology there. So that's what you have there. So there are a lot of things are coming there. What is the future of the meat and all? So whatever I've discussed in the video, make sure that it will help you out. One more thing which I would like to add here, that is sometimes that the big concern is there, that you can take the positive of lab grown meat, that antibiotics are used to grow the animals, even the poultry birds also there, and which are causing antimicrobial resistance in human being. You know that last year 2019 prelims exam, there is one question on antimicrobial resistance, and one of the option also says that when we rear animal and grow the animals, we use antibiotics to grow them, and that antibiotics, when we consume as a non-vegetarian, we eat the food, so we get the antibiotic, and the human body develop this resistance to the antibiotics. Not only that, even the bacteria in the environment inside the human body, they also develop resistance, and WHO has warned that AMR, antibiotic resistance, is going to be a big global threat. So even that can be prevented, because all this lab grown meat will not require live animals. We don't have to kill live animals. It's all grown in the bioreactors. So that can be the clean meat may become available in India in by 2025. So I have been discussing about from various newspaper reporting from Indian perspective. So that's what I've gone through the articles. So now if you take that, so answer is 3 there. Now second question. Which organization in India is a direct question, factual question. Sometime in examination you get a factual question, the direct question. Either you know or you don't know. Supporting lab grown meat. So A, CCMB, B, CDFD, Center for DNA and Fingerprinting and Diagnosis, NIV, National Institute of Virology, NII, National Institute of Immunology. See, UPSC can give you any option. It can be any option. So the answer is CCMB, which is located in Hyderabad. A direct question. Now coming to the last question here. What are benefits of cellular agriculture? See, a question setter can set different types of question based on the concept, application. Is a different perspective, positive, negative, it can be anything. But I'm just trying to give you an idea with 3 questions here. Let's say first point. So benefits. So first is that cellular agriculture can help fight climate change. Number 2, cellular agriculture can promote animal welfare. Number 3, cellular agriculture can produce disease-free meat products. Number 4, cellular agriculture can help conserve threatened species. Of animals. So let's say a very simple question. Cellular agriculture, in vitro agriculture meat or lab grown meat can promote what? So let's say the option 1 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. A very simple question. So I read the sentence. Cellular agriculture can help provide climate change. It's true because you know that the animals, particularly the bovine, which produce greenhouse gas, methane gas, that can be prevented. Cellular agriculture can promote animal welfare. That's right. Don't have to kill the animals. Cellular agriculture can produce disease-free meat products. That's correct. There won't be any worm or any parasite or any kind of viruses. That is a part of it. So cellular agriculture can help conserve certain species of animals. Correct, because killing of animals like pangolin or maybe turtles, tortoise. You take any such example. So that can be even prevented for the meat which is eaten by human beings. So here the answer is all of this. D as an answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. But at the same time, keep in mind that question can be variety of types of can be asked by the UPSC exam. The question setter can set you in different ways. So all those topics in today's I have class or you can say session, and I have bring from the emerging technology. So and all these are linked to the coronavirus pandemic. So whether you talk about the first topic about rapid PCR test, right, from the biotechnology molecular diagnosis part of it. Then the second topic which I discussed about DNA vaccine, right, recombinant vaccine or DNA vaccine, again from corona point of view. And third, which I've discussed about artificial meat, again from from animals which are host of viruses like coronavirus, which again the interlinkage is there. So try to study from that holistic point of view. Try to see from a broader perspective. So questions can be easily solved in the exam. At the same time, the people who are there, who are not writing exams, even they are aware with this kind of information. So I hope that this makes sense and everybody get benefited. So my initiative helps a lot to all of the people, not only the aspirant who are going to appear in civil service exam, but in a general public, right? So I thank each one of you to be there and supporting my cause and trying to understand these concepts from current perspective, from government perspective. So I will carry on with the next session on new topics, so which will be the day 2, that is the 26th March, and I'll upload in the Facebook and all. I'll tell you the topic what I'm going to cover. All right. So take care of yourself and your family, and keep on following me and watching all these videos online in YouTube or in your Facebook or Instagram, Telegram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever things are there. And please share this with your friends and family members. So with this, I take a pause. We'll meet again, right? So thank you everyone.